Hello everybody, welcome to your Winter Solstice 2020 visualization and healing. It's been a difficult year for many of us in all sorts of ways we would not have thought possible. And I'm really sending love, light and good wishes out to everybody who watches this, all of your family, all of your friends, especially if you can't get together with your loved ones, as here in the UK we pretty much found out yesterday. So big heart love to everybody out there for next year. And to me, the winter solstice is the beginning of a new year. I don't hold with Samhain, the last festival we had at Halloween being the Witch's New Year. To me it's the solstice. And the solstice represents the light and the dark changing and the new child being born in each of us. So before we start, I'm just going to give you these two beautiful crystals to hold. This represents the yin, black obsidian, and this represents the yang, the light, Herkimer diamond. And I'm going to give these to you to hold now. So if you hold them in your hands, just imagine them there, helping to balance you. So first of all, I'd like you to take a deep breath in from the ground below you, holding the air in your lungs for a little while and breathing out any physical ailments into the ground below you. Then taking a second deep breath in from the skies above you, holding the air in your lungs for a little while and breathing out any anxieties and worries. Then taking a third deep breath in from the waters within our sacred lands, holding the air in your lungs for a little while and then breathing out any sadness back into the sea. And then taking a fourth deep breath in from the sun above you, holding the air in your lungs for a little while and breathing out any anger and frustration towards it. And then settle your breathing down into its natural pattern, feeling a bit more calm and centered within body, mind and spirit. And I am now going to cast a circle around you, which will be devoid of space or time, and will protect us for this visualization. So we ask the guardians in the north to come and protect our circle. We ask the guardians of the east to come and protect our circle. We ask the guardians of the south to come and protect our circle. And we ask the guardians of the west to come and protect our circle. We call upon Grandfather Sky to come and protect this circle. And we call upon Grandmother Earth to come and protect this circle. Just going to place my hands on your shoulders as we start the grounding. So just imagine that you are growing roots out of your shoulders and down past your hips and knees. They grow down and down and down through the building and the floor, pushing deeper and deeper and deeper through the soil and past the rocks, deep, deep and deep, until they reach the very centre, the very core of the earth, where they find a giant crystal to wrap themselves around, keeping you tight to Mother Earth. And then those roots will start to drink up the energies of the planet, feeding, nourishing, healing energy into your body, up your legs, and into your lower dantian, just below your belly button, which is a Taoist energy centre. It opens and activates that, and we move up to the middle dantian, the heart chakra, or the heart dantian. It opens and activates this energy centre, and then the energy rises to the yin tang point, right in the middle of your forehead, where your third eye is. And it opens and activates that energy centre. And then the earth energies spill out of the top of your head and flow back down you like a fountain, to be drawn back up through your feet and up your centre line again, replenishing and healing from the trees and the earth that we stand upon. Continually healing, continually renewing, flushing out anything you don't need and cleansing it in its beautiful green, blue and white light. And breathe out. So I'd like you now to imagine that we are together somewhere in ancient woodland in the West Country of England, perhaps somewhere near Glastonbury. And I'd like you just to take a look around, and you're going to find a very old oak tree. Do you? Oak of the Druids. I'm going to draw this symbol into you 3 times. Oak of the Druids. Just drawing that down your centre line to overlight our healing. Oak of the Druids. And as you look up in this tree, you're going to notice a clump of mistletoe called druidic luce, and this stands for healing, fertility and inspiration. The Druids also call it all heal. And it's a parasitic plant which literally springs out of the bark on oak, apple, sycamore, ash, lime, poplar, field maple and hawthorn. You may find it on other trees too. And the druids are filing in now to our grove. Just watch as they start to move in. All with their white robes, one after the other, in a solemn procession. The woodland people, perhaps even the fae, and maybe even some of the animals of this forest, are also drawn, perhaps by the noise of the drum, or by the clamour of quiet and reverent folk. And at this time of year, the winter solstice, also known as Alban Arthen, the sun stops still in the sky, and it doesn't move for about 3 days. And this time of year symbolises the rebirth of the sun, the rebirth of the Mabon, sacred child within us all. It is a time to gain inspiration, fertility, healing, and even guidance as we sit and go inwards at this quiet time of year. And soon the noise of the drum fades away, and you start to pay attention to what is happening. And breathe in, smell the fragrance of the pines, and look around at the gnarled fingers of the trees as they point skywards to the heavens, reaching for the Great Bear, the 7 rishis of the Great Bear, the plough, maybe even Draco, whichever constellation that you like at this time of year. And as you look around, you may even see some familiar faces, perhaps of the collective ancestors, or even your spirit guides. You pull your clothes around you as it is cold and wintry. And then a couple of the druids move forward, 2 holding a white sheet, and one of them holding a golden sickle, the shape of the crescent moon. Traditionally, this would have been cut on the 6th day of the new moon, which is almost tomorrow in the year 2020. And one of the druid holds up his golden sickle. Will have to make do with my gardening knife. And the glint of the light of either the sun, if it is daytime in your meditation, or even the moon and the lanterns held by the people, glints. And the reason that mistletoe is so sacred on the oak tree is because it grows closer to the upper worlds. And the druid looks up into the tree and he assesses the largest and oldest clump to cut. And not one of these should touch the ground, but they are caught on this white sacred cloth. One of them whispers incantations as he or she does this. The white berries. Sometimes you can see the birds wiping their beaks on the bark in an effort to get the stickiness off them. And this is how it is spread. The mistletoe, the all heal, is then carried around the group, and you are offered to take a sprig, which you do so now. Druid mistletoe, and you keep this sprig as one of the other druid walks around with the sacred water, sprinkling and blessing your mistletoe, which you will then hang at your door for protection. And of course, if somebody comes to stand at your door, you may take a kiss from them or give them a kiss. And this would stay there perhaps until the summer solstice for the next half of the year. And it will keep its leaves and its berries, it will just turn a little more yellow. And the druid continues to move around the circle with the sacred cloth. And then the mead is poured. I'll put the note in the show notes of this from some friends of mine in Wales. And you are offered a sip of honey mead. Feel its golden fruity nectar slip down your throat, warming your stomach. We only drink a thimble through because it is very heavy. And then the next druid brings a bag towards you of runes, and you select a rune, an Anglo-Saxon rune. And this particular one is year, made out of yew. Year. 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 And it symbolised the longbow, a tool. And you've picked this rune out to equip you and bring the magic into you for everything that you are going to need next year. So I draw this upon you now. To equip you with everything you need for the next 6 months. As the days start to grow longer and the promise of spring and summer are given to us for another cycle around the sun. And then finally, the chief druid amongst us moves to the centre with his great tall stang, a staff with a fork, a natural fork, and off it he has hung feathers of white, feathers of dark, and he has a lantern to shine the way. And often these stangs were planted in the ground to denote a gateway. And this is what he does now. He places a gateway in the circle and he lights the lantern. And he asks each of us in turn to walk past the lantern. And as you do so, you feel the shift from the dark part of the year into the light, into the next 6 months. And into, if you wish it, your new life, full of healing, full of promise, full of fertility. Fertility in everything that you do. Fertility of mind, fertility of action, fertility of family. But perhaps fertility for happiness. And when everybody has walked past the stang, cake is brought around the circle, and the drumming and the merriment commences. Maybe you put your sprig into your hat to keep it safe, to take home with you. And you think of the ancestors, the collective ancestors, and the stone people, and the dark places on the earth that need a bit of light. And all the people who are less fortunate than ourselves. And we send them healing from the circle, from this grove in the West Country, near Glastonbury, the heart chakra of the earth. And as one, we reach for the skies, and we thank the gods or the god and the spirits of the air for their protection. And then we reach towards the ground, and we thank the spirits of earth for our protection. We lift our hand up and we thank the spirit of fire for their protection. And we also thank the spirits of water for their protection. The druid unwinds the circle. And everybody files back, following the druids out of the sacred grove of the druid and the druid loose, knowing that you can come back to this woodland in your mind whenever you need. A bit of peace, a bit of harmony, and a bit of respite from the busy world. Because this place is now within your mind and within you. And the faster beat is just to bring you back. Start to regrow the roots out of your shoulders and down past your hips and knees, through your feet and into the ground below you. And I'm now going to collect these crystals of darkness and of light from you and send you peace and happiness. Bye bye now.